Welcome back to Book Bingers, the podcast where two best friends talk about books, book boyfriends, book theories, anything else that we think about. Mm-hmm. And today we're back. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Let's finish Fourth Wing.
Oh my gosh, we took a little break for the holidays.
Yep. It's been a little chaotic.
Just one little break, and now we're back.
Yeah.
And we have a lot to get through.
January is a big month.
It's a big month. We're gonna just call it a day with Fourth Wing today, finish her off. Yep. And then we're gonna be hardcore Iron Flame. Yeah. And I have a feeling we might have to post more than once a week.
I know. There's 66 chapters.
Okay, let's finish off the big finale of Fourth Wing. Okay, so we left off.
And they had just opened the missive that said, basically, they've been sent to Athbine to die.
Correct. And Dane was like, it was nice knowing you.
And Violet is like, oh my god, what is happening? My life is a complete lie.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're picking up on chapter 36.
Yep.
Let's roll.
And we start, and Liam is using his sight to see what they're handling. And he says, if those are what I think they are, we're fucked.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. Xaden says they're testing our loyalty without actually saying it.
Yeah.
I highlighted this part. It says, Liam says, as sure as I can be without having actually seen them before. 4 of them, purple robes, distended red veins spidering all around, bright red eyes. Creepy as shit. And this is the first time I didn't pick up on this, the other reads, that the color of the robe, like I see that we get different colors of the venom. Yeah. And I wonder, that has to be like a hierarchy type deal.
Yeah, I wonder if that's their own version of their own wings and leaders and whatnot. Yeah.
And we're about to start the battle.
Oh, God, like so good. I love that we are now going to see everybody in action with their powers.
Yeah.
And this is giving like very much a Avengers moment for me.
Oh, this is the moment.
Like, this is the big, like, we thought we were having battles before. Correct. When Jack died and all the other things.
This is the second to last episode of the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're going to tie it all up in the finale.
Yeah.
But, like,
we gotta end it on a cliffhanger.
You know what it's going to end
This is like Battle of the Bastards, Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, big
oh, man.
Big moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see their creepy eyes. We see their, one's got a giant ass staff.
Yeah, and I was like, what powers that staff? You know what I mean?
Right. I wonder if they use that to channel from the ground.
Are they channeling through that? Like, what is? I want to know the nitty gritty.
I know. I know. Give me more. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got red veins. We now know we're up against Venom. And we're asking the questions like, shit, how many people live in resin?
Yeah.
More than 300, Imogen says, and that's where they post and they do their yearly trade. So this is like a lot of people.
Significant
amount of people.
That they now are like, we have to save them.
Here's my question. How did Dane's dad know the Venom were going to be here unless, he fucking works with them?
Yeah.
Either is controlling them, in some way, shape, or form has obvious
I'm not going
to
give Dane's dad so much credit to say he's controlling anything because I do think he's a pawn.
He's a puppet. He's a puppet. Absolutely.
He thinks they make him think he has more power than he does.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's giving like pretty much obviousness here, and it's weird to me that we don't ever talk about like, hey, isn't it weird that Dane's dad knew this was going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
It like even I'm like rereading Iron Flame and I'm like, we pick up on the fact that Dane's dad knows that there's Venom, but we're not talking about the fact that he knew they were going to be there.
Like, what is his actual connection to
What's
them?
his connection?
Yeah.
It's bothering me.
It's really, we've just put him in like a bad bucket and that's it.
And we're not questioning. We're just like, he's bad.
He's just bad.
He's bad. But like clearly the guy has some kind of knowledge of where they're moving.
Absolutely.
It's bothering me halfway through Iron Flame, and I'm like, no one's bringing this up. Okay, moving on. Okay, go ahead. Got hot for a second.
I have this highlighted. Wyvern. Fables say Venom created them to compete with dragons, and instead of channeling from them, channel power into them. Let's hope there's something in that book that isn't true. So my question is, how do they create them? How are they created?
I have questions.
Right?
I have questions. And like, do they just pop out in full form?
That's what I mean.
Or
Are they hatched?
are they like baby? Do they come out of the like? Where do they come from? I have questions.
So in this, the Venom have the power, the Wyvern don't. But for the humans, the dragons have the power, the humans don't.
Yep. I love a real moment where you can kill one and multiple die.
That's the best.
It's the best. And like when you figure that out, you're like,
that's the moment.
It's the moment.
You know what I mean?
It's the moment. Okay, so now we have Wyvern and we have Venom.
And we have Griffins.
And we have Griffins.
And the Griffins are there helping.
They're helping. We don't really see much of their action.
much of them. No.
In this, but
we're kind of helping them.
So at some point, as you're picturing this, remember there's flying lions.
Wild.
Like, there's just flying lions happening at the same time.
Right?
That probably seem miniature in size.
Absolutely.
But in my mind,
they're the ones who are going up against the Venom and the Wyvern on a daily basis. We should definitely be giving them weapons.
I'm just saying. Okay, so we find out that Dragonfire won't kill them. Only the daggers that Xaden's been supplying everybody. Which, that's mind-blowing to me.
That there's
something that Dragonfire won't kill, but one little piece of metal can do it.
And lightning. Or is it pure power? Do you know what I mean?
It must be pure power, because this metal's coming from pure power.
Right.
As well. We've got to find other weapons moving forward.
The iconic line of, we can live as cowards or die as riders.
The best line. It's so good. And who says it?
That's Violet in her mind.
That's Violet in her mind.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like this weird thing because I see it everywhere that I'm like, why do I hear it being like chanted?
Right.
But it's not. It's just in her head.
It's in her brain. And all of them, what's crazy to me is they all go into this knowing we're probably going to die.
They all, like Xaden's like, y'all can leave. Go, fly.
Like, this is on me. This is on me. You guys go.
I'm the only one that made this deal and took this oath. They all stay.
I think that's a sign of a true leader.
I know.
You know what I mean? You have that true loyalty.
And like they also have that like, we would be dead anyways if it wasn't for you. Yeah. So I'm going to follow you to the ends of earth.
And there's this innate need in all of them to save these people.
Yep.
Which I don't
Garrick
know.
literally says, you kept us alive all these years. We get to decide how we die. I'm with you. God. Oh. Ball my eyes out. Okay, and then we have the iconic line of Taryn talking to Violet, and he says, we will feast on their bones, Silver One. Oh. He is goosebumps. So epic.
Oh my God.
He is just everything I want. He would be on my Hear Me Out cake.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like, not even a question.
No question. I want to see what human form him would look like, because, oh my God. Like, I'm love
here for it.
Love it.
I get what Sigil is. I get why she tied herself to him. Yeah, absolutely.
Girl, I get it. And, you know, Violet's internalizing her head right now. She's like, at least Rhiannon, Sawyer, and Riddick aren't here. Mira will understand. And as for Mom, she says, the dagger on her desk means she knows and has done nothing to stop it. Guess I'll be the second child she sacrifices to keep the existence of Venom a secret. What a horrible thought to go into, thinking you're going to die and that your mom
has known this whole time.
Yeah.
And then we have another line that I really like from Taryn, and he says, "You're a far cry from the trembling girl who stood in the courtyard and tried to make her fear after parapet." Oh, this is Sigil, actually.
Yes, I have the same. Yeah,
I approve. And now it's like, I want to go back, and we've said this before, like, to that scene when, after the parapet, when Sigil lands on the wall, I want to know what the conversation was between her and Xaden.
Correct.
Because I can only imagine.
Have you been seeing all the, like, TikToks that's, like, from the very first line we hear from Xaden, where he's like, you better get moving, Violet, that it's, like, it's because he can read Jack's intentions that he's going to push her, and he's like, you better get going. Yeah! And I was like, brr.
Wow.
I just love it because Sigel doesn't talk to Violet very often.
No.
So the fact that she says, I knew you'd make the right choice, and he did too. Even if he doesn't like putting yourself in danger, he knew you would.
Yes.
And I love it. And she goes, well, he knows me a great deal better than I know him. And she says, you're a far cry from the trembling girl. Mm-hmm. And it just like that like little conversation.
And she goes, I approve. And then Violet has the audacity to say to Sigel,
I wasn't asking for your approval. Thanks. But like, sorry. What?
Wow.
But I also think that Sigel's probably like,
she's like, okay, this is why I like you. You know what I mean?
You'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to, she needs that. That's why she likes her.
Yeah.
Because of that fire, because of that backbone.
Yeah. Who knew that little Violet from chapter 1 would be this girl?
I'm very interested to see, knowing everything that happens in where we end with Iron Flame.
Yeah.
I have to think we're going to see more conversations between Violet and Sigel.
Yes.
Because Sigel is pissed.
Yes. Yes.
So I feel like
it's giving like when two females weren't necessarily getting along before, Manon and Aelin, and all of a sudden they connect on that superpower.
Yeah.
I think, do we see her maybe ride between multiple dragons?
Oh, that would be wild. Oh, I would love
I really like this book is just to me a perfect example of how a character should grow.
Yes.
And I almost am like, did she grow too much in one book? Because she doesn't grow all that much in the second book. But I think the third book, we're going to see a huge spike.
She takes some step back.
She sure does. She
ends where we need her to.
She ends where we need her to. And I think book 3 is going to be a spike just upwards. But this book is like, to me, I don't get how people don't like this book. I don't get it. I don't get how anyone could ever DNF this. Because to me, this is a perfect book. There's literally nothing I would change.
Like, then you probably don't like romantasy as a genre.
Correct. And like reading it and like being so detailed in what we're doing, I'm just like, Rebecca Yarros might be the best author I've ever read. Truly.
Honestly. And the thing is, I really do think the fact that she has, 20 plus books before she even wrote this.
Yeah.
It's like,
she's no slouch.
It's really just, it shows you, I just don't think that there's plot holes. There's not like these big like issues.
It shows that she knew exactly what each book in the series was going to have. It shows.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love her. Anyways, back to the next thing. Okay, so we can skip all this. We know that the Wyvern are here.
Yes, the Wyvern are here. In Violet has this callback to what Mira said at Montserrat. I could have sworn I saw a riot of dragons across the border. So she's like, is this what she has been seeing?
Yes.
The Wyvern.
Yes, obviously.
And
then we find out, how earlier Xaden had talked about his, tattoo being a gift and not a curse. We find out that it's because Melgren can't see them when they're together. Yes. And of course, she's like, cool, anything else you're keeping from me? Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. But I'm like, now's not the time, Violet. Let's keep it going. So we find out that no one's coming to save them.
No.
Melgren knows what's happening, and he doesn't give a shit.
No.
He doesn't give a shit.
And the thing is, Violet's mom doesn't know.
No.
They're keeping this, but she doesn't know that.
She doesn't know that. So now they're feeling that there's something in the trading post. Taryn's like, we all feel it. So if all the dragons can feel it, the Wyvern and Venom definitely feel it too. There's something in there that they're after. And of course, it has to do with our friend Liam.
Sure does.
Sure does. That is going to be, in my mind, a pivotal thing going forward.
Absolutely.
Like you don't just throw that in there for no reason.
No. We also find out that the dragons can speak with the griffins.
Yeah, and Taryn's such an ass. He's like, how do you think we communicated before you? Like,
obviously.
What do you... Duh. We can communicate with anyone we want to. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they can talk to the gods. Who created who?
Yeah, exactly. I want to know, like, what is
that
dynamic? Because I'm still convinced that the gods exist. I will be so upset if we get through the whole series and the gods don't make an appearance.
Well, I feel like Taryn kind of already confirmed that because he was like, you're puny gods. We don't bow to the whims
Please.
of your puny gods.
Like they have
to.
Have to.
They've probably had. I mean, he's been around for, I don't know. Doesn't say hundreds of years.
Hundreds.
I bet he's had some combos with some of them.
I bet him and Malik go way back.
Because each dragon would be like, "Hey, stop praying to Dune and Malik. Like they don't exist." Like, you know what I mean? It's interesting to me. It's also interesting to me that all of these dragons know that there's venom and don't tell their riders.
Yeah.
With that bond.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So clearly they're loyal, like they must be bound to something like where they can't be the first one to bring it up or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's weird though.
I mean, the series is overall called the Empyrean series.
Correct.
And I feel like that is just, we just got a snippet, like a tiny look into the Empyrean.
Correct.
So I wonder.
There must be some royalty happening.
Do you think that at some point we will get a chapter that is from one of the dragon's point of views?
God, I hope so.
You know what I mean?
I would give anything for just even an end, a prologue, anything.
Yeah.
Just
to give us that peek behind the curtain too, you know, in the areas where humans can't be.
Give me a bonus chapter. Give me something.
Yeah.
Give me something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of the Veil and the Imperium in the third book. Mm-hmm. I think the third book is going to be arguably the best book in the series so far. My gut.
I agree.
My gut.
I agree.
And just based on other big series, I feel like the third book is when things really shift, and what we thought the whole series was going to be about, we're like, oh, just kidding, it's not.
The third book is
always
generally my favorite.
Generally.
I mean, and then you'll get the fifth book will be
epic.
Favorite, obviously.
Yeah, epic. Anyways, okay.
Well, then we get this. I went through this one again. There's another Venom that we see, the one with the staff.
Yeah.
Oh no, she reminds her of the staff bearer. She has blue robes on.
Yes.
And it seems like she's more powerful.
Yes. So Violet's like, we see raw powers palpable in the air, lifting the hairs on my arms as the Venom stands with her palms lowered to the ground. The grass around her turns brown. Then the flowers of the wild clover bushes wilt and the leaves curl, losing all their color. And she's freaking out. She's like, Taryn, is she? And he says, channeling.
Yeah.
So like, legitimately, you can see how this could be appealing to someone that maybe didn't connect with their rider.
Yeah.
To know there's another way to get power, more power.
Yeah.
This could be very appealing to someone.
So my question is like, is this because she's like super powerful and that this is what a big power looks like channeling? Or was there something like this happening when Jack channeled in the mat? Like, right.
Is it
do
just
they need to be touching the actual ground to channel? Like, correct. I just have
Do your emotions have to go to such an extreme that it just awakens channeling? You know?
Like are some people like you start out really weak and you can't really channel, and then like as your soul basically gets destroyed, like
I don't know.
I have so many questions.
But clearly in my mind, you can't channel from a place of good. In my mind, this is dark magic.
Absolutely.
So it has to be coming from already feelings of like malice and anger and whatnot. Anyways. Okay. So now Terrence talking. He says, watch out. Day says that building on the other side of the road has a crate of something marked with Liam's family crest. He says it's highly unstable. So Liam probably knows what's in there. Right? If Liam is saying it's unstable.
Yeah. So then my question is, does Sloane know?
Does Sloane know? And are all these little markings with relics on it like one big clue? I don't know.
I love that this changed Day to Dwight.
Okay, so then straight out the gate we get our first death. They lost Soleil. Soleil? She gone. And in my mind I'm like, oop, that's great. Fine. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. It was nice knowing you.
But that really, as we see in Iron Flame, like that death really strikes Violet.
Yeah.
Very deep because she sees how Soleil couldn't escape.
Yeah.
And she wasn't fast enough.
And so
that really fuels Violet's need to train in Iron Flame.
What's that like, training for running? I don't know.
They don't even have a race.
They're running
for their
cold.
life.
Yep. Okay, so chaos is happening. We're seeing people die already.
Yeah, so this is my problem here.
Yeah.
Reading this.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many freaking wyvern. All of a sudden, I feel like they're killing them, but all of a sudden there's just more and more and more.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are they making them? Who's making them? How many of them are there? What's their lifespan? Like, I have so many questions about the wyvern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can wyvern ever be good? Can they be turned?
Interesting.
I have questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I just feel like this is that battle moment where just they keep coming.
Yeah. Okay, so we see Liam in fucking action, okay?
Yeah.
Taryn puts us into position, hovering about 20 feet above ground as Liam flies for the griffins above us, wielding spears of ice into the injured wyvern's throat. Blood streams as the wyvern falls from the sky, and he kills one.
So, what you just said.
Yeah.
Liam. Using ice.
Ice to kill a wyvern.
His signet power is Farsight.
Yeah.
So this means he has a second signet.
Correct. So I've seen all these things where Rebecca says that was a typo. Like it was an editing mistake.
Doesn't seem like
I don't think it was an editing mistake at all. I think he also had a second signet.
Absolutely. Come on.
I mean, if that's the case and this was just a editing mistake, that's a massive mistake.
That's a massive mistake.
I think
that's such a mistake that you would like reprint. Do you know what I mean?
Correct. So now I'm like, do all of you have it?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Do all of you have it? In which case, Imogen, the one we already know she has, is crazy powerful. And in which case, this theory that Bodhi is possibly not the guy that we want him to be, could his second signet be one of these secret ones as well? I don't know.
Like, is that another secret that all the rebellion kids have to keep, is that they all have second signets?
And it makes me wonder, have they shared it with each other? Like, do they all know that they are? Do they think that they're special? Because I thought Zayden was special because of having Sigel and his grandfather.
Right. I don't know, man.
I'm confused. Were these... Did the dragon that was forced to do this to them actually give them, like, I know this is terrible?
Is the relic powering a second signet?
That's what I'm saying. Is it the relic? You know, because it was her mom's dragon that had to do that, right?
No, Melgren's.
No, it was Melgren's. And he's a black dragon.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced that he's not related to Taryn.
Oh, has to be.
I mean, they have to be, right? There's too much of a, like, weird feud between them.
Yeah.
I also am like, are we going to see an epic battle between them? I do think so. Very much like the Mountain and the Hound.
I also want to know, is Melgren's dragon bad?
I don't know.
Or will we see, like, he's just, I don't know, or is this like he's trying to work against I don't know.
I don't know. But I'm if this is to believe that Liam has two signets,
I'm just saying,
make it make sense, because I don't think that their dragon had any lineage between them. So why it has to be?
But there is certainly something in Liam's family line that's very important in this whole story.
Correct, because also Violet was under the impression that his parents were still alive.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, my dad died too. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Liam's powerful though. Okay, moving on. Anyways, his ice kills kills a wyvern.
Yep. But then what's happening is no one's killing a venin.
No one's killing it. Literally.
And at this point, no one knows how they're going to kill a venin other than like hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Violet can't control the lightning to save her life.
No, and she's like, any idea how to kill them? And Taryn says, the same methods that can kill us. So are you telling me that these little daggers can also kill dragons? Mm-hmm. 'Cause what? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And she says, I don't exactly have a crossbolt handy. And he says, no, but you do have lightning, and a bolt of that will stop any dragon's heart. Even yours, Taryn? Because when she's like doing it, do you not feel it? Like your signet gave it. Like, I'm just okay. Oh, and then someone named Fuel died.
Yeah, that's Soleil's dragon.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I was like, who's that?
Yep.
That's what I thought as I was reading it.
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Wonderful. So we're moving on. We're working on it. Everyone's trying not to die, but then something happens.
The worst thing happens.
Which I have to say, reading this the first time,
awful.
It infuriated me so much because I went into this thinking if anyone's safe, it's Liam because we already saved him. Mm-hmm. You certainly don't save someone to kill them in the same book.
And I will tell you, that 1000% is a Rebecca Yarros move.
Because shook me to my core.
That's how she gets you. In her romance books, like, that's the shit she pulls. Like, you're like, no, there's no way.
I don't like it.
I know.
I don't like.
I know.
I mean, I do love.
Yeah.
When characters die.
Yeah.
Like when I'm watching shows or I'm reading books, I do love that feeling of no one's safe.
Yeah.
But I hate it
very
at the
impactful.
Same time.
Uh-huh.
The only other time, not the only, but another significant time that I felt this way where I thought you can't kill them was the first season of Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
No spoilers, but the same feeling of like, what the fuck just happened? Are you kidding me?
Wild.
I literally had to stop and go, nope! Like I had to walk away from the book.
Yeah, and it's in that moment that show, you realize, like, no one's safe.
No one's safe.
No one's safe.
And in this book, that is how I felt. I threw my book down.
I'm still convinced, like, just seeing Rebecca post her niece reading the book.
Yeah.
And her being like, oh, no!
Yeah.
That enough for me is like...
Yeah.
We're going to go through it.
We're going to go through it. And I'm terrified. Because if Liam's not safe, Rhiannon's not safe. Mm-hmm. Sawyer, Riddick, Bowie.
The only two that are safe.
Her sister.
But the only two that are safe by book 5, the end of book 5.
That's what I mean. Is Xaden and Violet. That's it. That's it. No dragons, nothing else. I don't think anybody but those two.
Unless she decides for them to die together for a cause.
If you Romeo and Juliet me, I will never forgive her.
I don't think she will. One but not the other.
I don't think she will because she has said over and over again, I'm a romance.
Yeah.
I'm a romance author. Yeah. And you know what every romance has in common? A happy ending.
Yeah.
For only one person, and that's our main character. And her happily ever after is with Xaden.
But everyone else fair game.
Fair game.
They can love each other, but they're going to be fucking hating their life because everyone else is dead.
They're going to have to start a whole new world.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Anyways, so what we're getting at is Liam dies.
Day is in a battle. And Liam ends up getting saved by Violet and Taryn.
Again.
And she has like him looped with a leather strap like onto Taryn. And Day
strength from where I don't know where she gets it.
I just assume all of her joints are just Day.
This is so hard.
She's like mind speaking to Xaden, being like Day is fighting for his life, and like Xaden's like if I leave, civilians are dead. So it's like
what an impossible choice for Xaden too. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. But he's on the way. But the thing is, you read her say at the beginning that like a dragon
without its rider,
yep,
is dead. Yep.
And you think like there's no possible way that a dragon can die, but Liam's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with him. And we see Day is gonna die.
Yep.
And it's in that moment you start seeing Liam start to fail, and you're like, but Liam's fine. What do you mean?
I know. And Taryn's like, you only have minutes. So from the moment that dragon dies, you have minutes at best to say your goodbyes.
And Liam is like, I have to imagine it's like your soul severing.
He says, Liam's raw scream shatters my heart. Like, and like that knowing, and all Liam wants in that moment is to be with Day.
Yeah.
Take me to Day. That's how powerful this bond is.
Violet's not strong enough at this point. Literally, physically not strong enough to take him.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry just talking about this. This is too much.
I know. So finally, Xaden gets there, and he picks Liam up and carries him over, and they're talking, like, last moments. And, like, Xaden in this moment knows that I know. Xaden in this moment, like, it's his best friend.
I know, his brother.
And just to look at someone and see physically there is nothing wrong with them, but to know that you're going to put them down and they're going to die.
And, like, as he's dying, he's still talking to Violet.
Yeah.
And he's like, we were always friends. It was, and he's talking about his sister.
Like,
he's like, you have to take care of her.
Please.
Oh, God. And he says, it's been worst thing you could say.
My honor.
It's been my honor. I cannot. I can't. Oh, God.
The thing is, this scene gets worse actually every time you read it.
Like, every time it's coming. Oh, my God. It's the worst. Oh, God. And she's just, like, crying, and Taryn's like, there's nothing you can do. Meanwhile, I have to assume the dragons are also mourning Day.
Absolutely. And all of this is happening, and all the Venom are still there.
Chaos. Oh, my God. It's like, too much. So Xaden comes. He brings over, and I want to know what's being said there, you know? Oh, my God. I can't. And then he dies. And then they're like, oh, shit, we still have to.
But what Liam did in that moment was give them the gift of the knowledge that if you take out the venom.
But she, like, doesn't get it. He's trying. He's trying to tell her.
Mm-hmm. But, like, that is his ultimate, like, last gift to them. Because once it clicks, they figure out you take out the venom, you take out all the wyvern.
Violet figures it out. Like, oh, that's what he meant. Yes. But, like, Liam knew this. So I'm like, how did Liam know this?
Liam told me to tell you there are 2 riders with that horde. Why would he tell me and not... Because he knew I'd have to be the one that holds off the wyvern as long as possible. And I'm the one who can kill them all. Mm-hmm. You can kill them. There's no me without you. And the thing is, and he gives her a forehead kiss. And I feel like in this moment, it's just like, she's so mad at him still. But, like, she still loves him.
Yep.
And in that moment, it's like, this is it. Like, this is...
Yep.
This might be our last moment together. Type deal.
Yep. Violet has reached a point where she's ready to sacrifice herself for everyone. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. And she's like, I have to be as strategic as Brennan and as confident as Mira. And she's still holding on to this, I'm not as good as her brother and sister, which is, how many people got to tell you you're the best of all of them? Mm-hmm. You're better than them. Like, no
but
offense.
when you're the baby and you have looked up to your siblings
and
your whole life,
the trauma that her mother has done to her. Are you kidding me?
And all you hear about is how wonderful they are over and over and over again.
Yep. Oh my God, you guys, that is just chapter 36. Mm-hmm. That's just the first chapter. So we get into chapter 37, and of course we get a little bit of, like, from the Fables of the Bear, and when we open it up. But it was the third brother who commanded the sky to surrender its greatest power, who finally vanquished his jealous siblings at a great and terrible price. So it's already, like, foreshadowing what is going to happen.
Yeah.
But then there's a venom on your back, Taryn. And we get a little more info.
Yeah.
From the venom during this. Again, this is where so many iconic sayings happen in this book.
Yes.
I don't think I realized how many until I'm like, oh, that one. Oh, and that
that's
one.
Where that's from. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she jumps on, and this is where we also find out that they have a sage, and she's like, I'm sorry, you have a teacher? Like,
there's someone more powerful than you?
There's someone, like, I think up until now, everyone thought the Venom were kind of monsters.
Yeah, they were all the same,
like, just, there was no internal thoughts. They were just programmed by anger or whatever. But she's like, hold the fuck up. You guys can be taught. There's a teacher? Yo. That's wild.
My question is, who are all these people who are Venom? You know what I mean? Like, where did they come from? Who are the people that are missing? Are they people that we have thought are dead?
Had it not been for Xaden, I would have thought people dying dead on their like when you turn a vampire.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But Xaden was healthy as a horse. So I don't know.
Like, how many people have chosen this life? How many people have been inadvertently converted into it? Like,
Correct. Correct.
Where are they coming from?
Correct. Okay.
So she has green-tipped daggers.
Yes.
What is the poison? You know what I mean? What is that poison?
Pretty intense.
Right.
Although, Brennan knew how to mend her.
Because he's a mender. But, like, he didn't give her, like, a poison...
He's a poison master, though.
Is he the poison master?
That's what Xaden
He's
is
the poison master?
Because he says at the end, see, I told you I knew someone more advanced in poisons.
So not his mom.
Oh, still could be his mom.
Could be.
We don't know.
We
know nothing about his mom.
Could be. So this Venom says to her, such untapped power. No wonder we were called here. You could command the sky to surrender all its power, and I bet you don't know what to do with it, do you? Riders never do. I'm going to split you open and see where all that astonishing lightning comes from. She waves the other dagger at me, and I realize she's playing with me. Or maybe I'll let him do it. You'll wish for death if I hand you over to my sage. Now, let me pick out a very small snippet of that. I bet you don't know what to do with it, do you? Riders never do. So does that mean scribes do?
Correct. She specifically says riders never do. Does that also mean that riders have untapped power that they could be using? Could they be channeling? And we're just keeping it from them and telling them that it's bad? Riders never do. Riders have the power of a dragon, which means, could we all have second signets? Could they all figure out how to control more? I don't know, because they know nothing. They're not telling them anything. But she also confirms that the sage is guy.
Yep.
Can we just point that out? She says him. So any of this, but Violet could be the sage. Can you stop?
It's a him.
It's a him.
It's a him.
Can you? I hate that theory more than anything.
Like,
that
my
it's
question
her
is,
coming to herself in the dreams.
Is this Venom, like, the next down? Like, is this the second in command? Like, is this the third in command? Like, I want to know the hierarchy.
I do too. So bad. So bad.
I really hope
but
we
the
find
fact
out.
that she gets taken out by Violet makes me think she's no Bellatrix. She's just something else.
True. I mean, but she does get in a
she's
pretty
like a
good
Lucius.
shot.
She does.
You
She
know?
goes out thinking, if I'm going, you're coming with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's that.
But so Violet gets stabbed in the midst of this whole battle.
She sure does.
And there's black blood.
Yes.
Sludges through her fingers.
Ugh.
Not good. So not good, is what she says. So she knows that the thing is, she knows she's dying, basically, and she's like, okay, what else can I do before I die?
Yeah. Well, she's convinced she's going to just take them all out. Mm-hmm. She says some interesting things during this, right? And so she's going up. Her plan is she's going to get all the lightning and all the land. And she's just going to...
At this point, she's like, just burn myself out
Burn myself up.
What's
I'm going to take everybody out.
Yeah.
That's her plan. And so she keeps asking for more power. And he's like, you're going to burn out Silver One. You're already walking the edge. And she says, this is the only way I can save them. I can save Seagal. You just have to decide to live, Taryn, even if I don't. He says, I will not watch another rider die because they do not know their own limitations. One more strike could be your last. I feel your warning. And she says, I'm not Naolin. So do we take this as a confirmation that Naolin actually died? Or is she
projecting that and it's not Naolin, but it's another past rider?
Correct. Or is there a world where Taryn thinks Naolin is dead? I don't know.
My question is, like, so at some point...
Or is he just
did
dead
Naolin
to Taryn because he's a Venom?
Learn how to sever that bond so that Taryn can't pick up on him? Like,
because he's channeling and getting more power from somewhere else?
And so he thinks he's dead? Or, dead to me.
Dead to me. Do you know what I mean? Or is it something similar to where he did die and the bond was severed, but came back the way that Jack came back.
Right.
I don't know, but there's no way we're not going to find out more about Naomi because that bastard keeps coming up.
That name is,
It keeps coming up.
It keeps coming up too many times.
Too many times to be a coincidence.
Yeah.
So, there's that. And Darna's like, hey, I'm here. Let me help.
This poor little baby.
Let me help. And she's like, yep, but only what I need.
Yeah.
And this is such a moment I can't wait to see come to life. Where, like, time stops and she's able to, like, bolt the lightning where she wants it to. That is some crazy power.
And we see the sage is there.
Yeah.
So at this
he's
point,
seeing this too. No wonder
at this
he
point,
starts.
the staff.
Yep.
A robed figure slams his staff into the ground and disappears like he was never there in the first place. And I'm sorry I don't have another word for this, but like, so the staff makes them apparate?
In my mind, it's like a wizard with his staff.
Yeah, like, is this like a Gandalf moment?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just want to know what is powering the staff. Is that the Venom powering the staff? It feels like the staff is important.
And well, it was to Jafar.
I feel like there's something in the staff.
Correct. I agree. It's probably what he can use to create and control.
Yeah. And then Terrence says a general can recognize another general, and that's their leader.
Absolutely. So he's just like, poof, I'm gone.
Poof, I'm gone. Xaden has, like, sent shadows everywhere.
Yeah. Again, I can't wait to see how they bring this scene
And she
to
says,
life.
new plan, I need you to let the shadows fall.
Yeah. And he's like, what? Okay.
And Darna's over here like, so much suffering.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
I can't.
So
if you've ever trusted me, Xaden, I need you to do it now.
Yep. So finally dragging the lightning down into place as my skin sizzles and burns, I release time and hold myself upright long enough to see it strike true, killing the venom at the first touch of its energy. As if time were still frozen, his body slowly topples from the top of his wyvern. And then, like, that's it, right? Like, boom. She does it. A rope of shadow flies up, wrapping around the Venom's neck as Taryn Banks left. Like, everyone's taking advantage of this moment. And she's like, good night. Good night and good luck. She gone.
She's like, I did my part.
I did my part. I can die now.
Basically,
like, that's what is in Violet's mind.
Yeah.
Like, you've got this. See y'all later. Chapter 38.
And the thing is, and Darna is the one that catches her as she's falling.
And Darna's last moment in my mind of, like, her also having consciousness.
Yeah, because she just literally gave everything.
Everything she has.
The two of them. My God.
I have to assume that Darna is the most powerful thing we've ever seen. We just don't know it yet.
Absolutely, she is.
And I also makes me worried that she's not going to survive this series. Anyways, in the event that you come across a poison you do not recognize, it's best to treat it with any and every antidote. Either way, your patient will die, but at least this way you would have learned something. Cool!
Amazing.
So we're chapter 38. You guys, all of that happened in 2 chapters.
Uh-huh. An epic 2 chapters. Mm-hmm. This is what I mean. Now we're at the final episode. Now we're
in the final episode.
You know what I mean? Like we had a fade to black. Second to last episode.
Everyone's like, how do you move forward with that? Yeah. Well, this is how. She's in and out. There, she can hear conversations happening. They're like, oh my God.
She's still like in her brain. She's like, the poison, what could it be? What could it be? It could paralyze me not only physically but magically. Like, she's still convinced in her brain, like, she's going to figure it out.
Yep.
No, bitch, you're not going to figure it out.
And they're like, maybe it's poison, maybe it's magic. So Garrick says at one point. I'm sorry. What? Now I'm like, well, for sure the staff is magic.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Okay, great.
Her blood is fucking black. It has to be poison.
So now
they're all like, let's get back to school.
And this is such a pivotal moment.
No one will fix her.
Where Xaden's biggest secret, he throws to the side to save her. Mm-hmm. This is the moment he knows he has chosen her.
And he's fighting with everyone else. Everyone's like, you're going to put everything at risk. Like, she's just getting snippets. She has no idea what they're talking about.
Yep.
And he's just in it. But Imogen comes up and says, I wouldn't say that again or he'll probably eat you. And don't forget, if she dies, there's a damn good chance Zayden does too.
Yep.
Like, Imogen's smart enough to realize, like, we don't really have a choice here.
Yep. Yep.
And Zayden at this point doesn't care about himself anymore.
This isn't for him. It's not for him. It's not for Sigel. It's not for Taryn. He will burn the world for her. This isn't, I don't even think he's thinking clearly. He's just like, whatever.
Yep.
Give me a Zayden. Give me a Zayden. So anyways, hours pass and she wakes up. She's like, hours pass, maybe seconds, maybe days. May have been forever. She doesn't know. She wakes up and she's somewhere totally different that she's never been before. She looks over. She can see the cliffs of Drailer. There's a 1,000-foot drop that's unmistakable. She knows. She's pretty sure she knows where she is.
Yeah. Of course she does.
Because she's a scribe. So she's seen pictures. Can you imagine?
No.
My brain is like, this is all from Violet's point of view. And sometimes I'm like, girl, I kind of get why you're a little like frustrated with everything.
Absolutely.
You've been lied to by everyone in your entire life.
But here's the thing. We have Zayden like whispering into her ear, you have to fight Vi. You can't, you can hate me all you want when you wake up. You can scream, hit, throw your fucking daggers at me for all I care, but you have to live. You can't make me fall for you and then die. None of this is worth it without you. He sounds so sincere that I almost believe him. And I'm like, at this point, you couldn't make me hate you.
No.
Okay?
No.
Absolutely not.
It actually infuriates me how much shit she gives him in the second book, because I'm like, yo, you have a perfect man and you don't even realize it.
And then we find out at the start of chapter 39, 39, we're in Zayden's POV.
I know.
And we find out that Zayden is the grandson of her second rider.
Yeah. This is where, I thought we found that out so much earlier. No.
We literally find out at the very end.
Find it out at the very
end. And honestly,
end.
it means nothing to us now.
No.
You know what I mean?
I haven't clicked anything together.
I also want to know, was her second rider a man or a woman? Was it the mom side? Was it the dad side? Who was her second rider?
She says it was his grandfather.
Grandfather.
Who dies during threshing.
So is it Fen? It couldn't be Fen. Well, one of them.
So his dad's dad.
His dad's dad then died during threshing. How
could
early
be his
did
mom's dad? We don't know.
Right?
It just says grandfather.
Right, because my question is, he dies during threshing. He already had a kid at that point?
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I maybe it wasn't his threshing. Maybe it was a different threshing.
Maybe.
So maybe he was 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, because riders can get married super early.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I mean.
I have questions.
Dingling and dangling.
Again,
you know?
I have questions.
Yeah.
All I do is just find more and more questions.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
You're right about the whole kid thing.
Yeah.
But maybe he also didn't know he had a kid. He could have impregnated any rider in the quadrant.
They're all doing whatever they want.
So maybe his mommy was born in the rider's quadrant.
I'm telling you.
Who knows? Mommy, daddy, we don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't know what paternal grandfather, maternal grandfather. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, anyways, moving on. So we're in Zayden's POV.
39.
Okay, I love this. We're in Zayden's POV, and immediately we open up with Sigel calming him down. She'll be all right.
Yeah.
He says.
Yeah.
So, like, their dynamic is probably pretty adorable.
It's why I really hope that this next book is like a mixture of both their POVs.
I agree, because I'm wondering if Sigel takes on like a motherly figure with him. You know, more maternal and sweet and a softer side.
Especially because we still don't know who his mother is. Is she alive? I think so. What is their relationship like? Does he need a motherly figure? You know what I mean?
There's some complications
there
with the mommy.
Sure is.
Sure. And he's just still freaking out. He's like, it's been 3 days. I don't know if she'll be all right. He's freaking out. And she's like, no, it'll be good. He starts going through. He's thinking about Liam. He blames himself. Violet blames herself. Everybody blames himself for Liam.
His train of thought right now is pretty awful.
Yeah, he's like, you should have told her about the Venet. All of this stuff. And Taryn's not helping either.
No.
He's chiming in, and he's like, I waited for you to impart the information, and now she's suffering. So he's just throwing it on him as well. And he's like, all he's got in his brain is like, but at least the bond that links the four of us is still in place, even if we can't communicate with her, which means Violet has to be alive if he's still able to communicate with Taryn. Mm-hmm. Got that going for him. But then she wakes up.
He basically goes through their entire relationship.
He sure does. She wakes up, and she's happy to see him.
Yeah. So in his brain, he's like, does she remember anything?
He's like,
did I just look out?
Did she forgive me? Like, she's smiling. This must be a trick of the light. This woman likely wants to set me on fire. And
she leans in and kisses me.
Like, I know. He's like, what? What? Like, he's just.
And the thing is, like, as a reader, I'm like, oh my god, that's so. Wow.
He also, so she wakes up and he's like, miraculous. And she says, what's miraculous? And he's like, shit, I would be a horrible leader. I need to get her water. Like, he's just he also was like, I'm not meant to lead. That was my dad, like, not me. He's so hard on himself.
I know.
Oh my God. And she's like, I'm fine. And he's like, I thought I was going to lose you. All of this.
And like, then I'll make it up to you. I'm not saying we won't
fight
like,
or what are you talking about? You're not going to lose me. All the things.
Make what up to me? And then he's like, how much do you remember?
And then everything clearly rushes back to her. Her eyes flare and something shifts. Something that sinks in my stomach like a rock as she tugs her hands from me. And he's like, don't panic. Everything's fine. And Darna isn't quite the same, but she's her. And she's like,
fucking huge.
He tells us, the readers, for the first time, she's fucking huge. Like, so we are finding out from Xaden that Darna is not the same.
Yeah.
Crazy. So Violet suddenly remembers everything. She's freaking out. She's unhappy with him. She's like, where are we? And don't you dare lie to me. Not
and of
again.
Course, in like true Violet fashion, she already freaking knows.
Yep.
She's just, you need to tell me. I need to hear it from you.
Yep. Yep. And he's still so impressed by her. He's like, fucking brilliant woman. You know what I mean? Like, she's so amazing. And she realizes that where she is, and she's like, I thought it burned to the ground. And he's like, yeah, but stone doesn't burn. So here we are. And she's like, cool, rebuilt or never burned. In the process, so we also find out that Xaden has not only been taking weapons to everybody else, but he's been rebuilding his home. How much time does he get
I'm convinced
away?
He never sleeps.
Or is Imogen just constantly making everybody forget that he wasn't there?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Do you know what I mean? How many people are alive that we don't even know are alive that are just helping rebuild this town? Like, Xaden, you are a leader, my love, whether you want to be or not.
And we see pretty quickly in Iron Flame the fact that he is the top of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
In Orisha.
Yep.
Oh, God.
But then she's like, tell me one thing right now. Is Liam really dead? And he has to...
And he gives her the freshly finished carving of Vandarna.
From Liam.
Oh,
God.
Oh.
Horrible. So then she kicks him out of the room. She gets ready, and the big, giant reveal comes after that. She's freshly showered. Xaden comes back, and he's like, we only have moments to talk.
Yeah.
Before he comes.
And I did just I picked up on this. Bodhi, we have a quick little like back and forth with Bodhi, and we see that he's the liaison with the Flyers.
Uh-huh.
And I just feel like that's something that we need to watch.
I'm telling you, I think we need to watch everything from Bodhi.
Yeah.
It's a real bummer. Yep. So, we go back and forth. She's like, you're going to have to earn my trust. I'm never giving it to you again. Classic. So then she blinks and he's like, fuck, he is impatient. You have about 20 seconds to ask a question. She blinks. I'm still hoping that Miss of Athbine was really about the war games. And he confirms that definitely wasn't an accident, little sister. She suddenly hears. Xaden sighs. I move to the side watching Violet. Told you I knew better, Poison Masters. I tell her softly, you weren't healed. You were mended. Brennan? She stares at her brother, open mouth. Brennan just grins and opens his mouth, and he says, "Welcome to the revolution, Violet. The fucking end."
Wild.
Wild. I wish I could say I didn't know that was coming, but I did at some point. Not from the beginning.
Yeah.
But at some point along the story, I thought, her brother's alive. Her brother and her dad. That was my thought.
Yeah.
If I don't see you die, you're not dead.
Yeah.
And I will stand by that for the rest of time until I'm proven wrong. If I don't, you could have died way long ago. I don't care. If I don't see it, you're not dead.
Mm-hmm.
You're dead.
Yeah.
So, I had a feeling that the brother was still alive. Did I know that Zayden knew that? No, but the second Zayden was like, I know somewhere, I was like, oh, we're going to see brother or dad. So I wasn't as shocked as everybody else, but still, what a way to end it.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Ugh.
Get out of here. And a Zayden POV. Didn't see that coming.
No, but man, I love it.
I love it. Give me all the Zayden.
And she had said, you're not going to get Zayden POV until, Violet trusts him.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now we'll get it.
Yeah.
Because I really need to know what he's thinking when he's going through all of this.
You guys, Iron Flame, I'm only halfway through Iron Flame, on my reread, but I'm picking up way more than I did the first time I read it. And there's a lot to dive into with that one.
Uh-huh.
And we will get into some theories, but I try not to get myself hooked on one theory because that only leads to disappointment. But it's fun to throw random theories out there that probably contradict all of the other theories that we have. But I have not given up on some of them.
Some of them seem really legit. Yeah. Also, did you happen to see today, she just said that... Now I have
to have two?
But you can't pre-order it. So there's a new version at Target only.
And it looks dope.
And it has
the gold
color
lettering.
Map end pages.
Yeah.
It has different sprayed edge. It has a different cover.
Yep.
And you can't pre-order it. You can only order it on Target on the 21st or buy it in Target on the 21st.
So obviously I'm going to the store. I know, because I need both. I need the gold lettering of that one and the silver with the matching.
John
the
just
only
goes,
one that's really
this
disappointing.
is how the rich get richer, Sarah.
Correct. The only one that's really disappointing is the Iron Flame, with just a black cover. When are you gonna re-release that with the sprayed edges?
The Waterstones one.
I really thought I ordered the Waterstone one. I guess I'll just keep going with this one.
Those are beautiful.
What else am I going to do at this point?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's that. Happy New Year. Let's move on to Iron Flame. We do have a Discord.
We do have a Discord.
We should probably be linking that.
Yeah.
We have a Discord now.
So you can hop in there, tell us your theories. We can deep dive, give us ideas, things you want us to talk about.
Yep.
That might be easier.
Yeah, we haven't really been posting anything on social media.
Yeah.
So there's not really a place to talk to us. So the Discord is the best place.
New year, new us.
Discord is probably the best place to have conversations now.
For sure.
So we will link that in somewhere.
I'll put it in the video description.
Yep, and I think we can link it in our stories too.
We should be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yay! Happy New Year! Let's move on to Iron Flame.
Bye.